Welcome back to my channel. What I'm going to do today is a how-to video, very shortish kind of one, on making your own gaskets. It's kind of a common problem. You're halfway through a job, you've taken a casing off, you've ruined the existing gasket, and what you need is a quick replacement. You don't want to wait days for it to come through. And also the cost of replacements as well, just for gaskets, can be £8, £10, £15 and upwards for some of them. Now this one is a left-hand casing off of an XL250, and I need to make the gasket for this. It's an oil retaining casing, so it does need to be oil tight on this one. A number of gaskets are maybe air retaining, like ones that you want for your carbs, either on the inlet manifold or even on the bottom of it for petrol resistant ones as well. Sometimes they're rubber, other times they are like a composite gasket as well. You can make them out of this as temporary if you need them, and then if you haven't got the right materials, wait for that to come through. So what I'm going to do is cover the tools that you need and also how to go about making your own. So let's crack on. Right, so what we've got laid out here are the tools and materials. We've got gasket paper of different grades, I'll cover that in a minute, some clamps, scalpel needs to be really sharp, a felt pen, some hole punches, small hammer, and obviously my template. So what we'll do is cover what the gasket papers are. Now this one in particular is marked as an oil resistant jointing paper. Let's get one unfixed. Flexoid oil resistant jointing. Now this one is of the grade that I'm going to be using. It's medium thickness, I would say. There is others here. Let's find a thinner one. This one here. Okay, so let's try and demonstrate. This one is a really thin paper-like, heavy grade printer paper, I'd say that was. Whereas this is getting more like a cardboard. It's got some substance to it. This is the sort that I'm going to use as my oil resistant gasket on this casing. This would be too thin, and then equally one that I've got here which is even thicker, this would just be too much as a gasket paper within that space. So I'm going to stick with this middleweight one that I've got here. The rest are pretty much the same that I've got, and let's just roll that out and get my template drawn on that. So first step is get this drawn with my felt pen. The felt pen is a lot better than a pencil because it's immediately absorbed by the paper, giving me a really clear outline. A pencil you tend to have to draw around a few times just to make the line thicker, even with a soft leaded pencil. Okay, that's the easy part. Now what we're going to do is just cut out the larger part of this. I'm not going to go right up to the edge with this right now. I just want the rough shape. And the reason I've done that is because what I want to do now is just clamp this to the casing so that I can turn it over and mark it up. So just one there, and then we'll get one over here. Now if I'd have cut that precisely to the edge, it would have been a little bit more difficult just to clamp exactly onto that edge. Okay, so now we'll turn it over, and what we need to do is just realign that piece a little bit. Okay. What we need to do is get an image hammered out of what that shape is. So using my fingers, I'm just going to feel around and tap all the way around. What we should see underneath, we can just about see it there, is a edge showing of that casing. what it's important to do is when you get to the bolt holes, and work around those as well, because the alignment of those when you come to do the punching is important, obviously. We just put some cloths underneath this to stop it rattling. Let's show what we've got under there. So we can now see, starting to show here. You see where the holes are here, and the inside edge needs a little bit clearer there on that inside edge. I can see it, it might not be quite as apparent on the camera, but that's the line that I'm going to be cutting to all the way around. So I need a little bit more. Oh, there's more on this inside here that I need, and that's it. So let's just do those last little bits. And then we'll just take that last clamp off. I'm holding it now with my hands just to make sure, and we'll go around. So a hole under there, yeah, there's a couple. So I need to get that one. That should be it. Yes. So what I've got there now, you can see on the camera, is a marked out inner piece. It's not really definitive on camera, but at least I can see where all of those holes are now. I'm now going to just scalpel around them. So we'll take the inside piece out first, and then we'll work on the outside. New blade. And I need a clear table because I will be turning this as I go to make life easier. So working around the inside, so we've got just in here a gap for cables, I believe, to route through, and then this is kind of an inner aluminium channel. Now this doesn't have to be massively accurate, it can overlap the inside edge just a little bit. So in order to give yourself a little bit of leeway, I tend to work just inside the marked line. And now, as you see, I can turn this on here, always drawing towards me and stabilizing my hand on the sheet. And this is where the benefit of a really sharp blade comes in, because it's one slice generally. I'm pressing quite firmly to make sure that I've gone through. This is a wooden back as well, so although it will be blunting the blade as I'm working, it's softer than doing it on a metal back. Now this little bit here is where a cable runs through on a rubber grommet. So just that little section. You don't cut that section out because the gasket lays up against the rubber grommet. Nearly there. And that's it. All the way around. Last little bit. Okay. That's the inside part cut out. Next step before I cut the outside out is, because I've still got a kind of substantial piece here, is to start punching out the holes. Otherwise it gets a little bit flimsy if you start punching out the holes when you get to the next part. Could have done it before I cut the middle out, but we'll do it as an after now. Right, so I've got two different size punches here. Before I had punches, what I used to use was a metal valve cap. The metal of that was quite sharp on the inside edge. Takes a little bit more hammering. You need to put it on a soft surface as well. So if you haven't got a punch set, have a look around in what other tools you've got. It doesn't have to be a tool. As I said, I used a valve cap, and you could mark out or punch the holes with that on a softer wood surface. This is a hard laminated surface, which is better for the sharper edges. So the larger one is for the one that has the locating dowels. So there's two locating dowels on this piece, one here and one here. So I'm going to line up on this one. Looking at I can see the mark that's been left by the template when I made it, and there we go, locating dowel done. And then there's one over here. There we go. Okay, the rest are bolt holes, which are M6, I believe. So I've got something here which is equivalent of an M6 bolt hole size. So we'll just go around all the others because I can see the marks exactly where they are for when I did the template. all done. So the last part now is cut out the outside. So we'll work around with the same scalpel. It's still sharp enough, and cut the outside. There we go, done. So what we do is just offer that up to the piece. Need to get something just to kind of tack it in place, something sticky, so a gasket sealant or something like that. But as you can see, I can just kind of hold it generally where it needs to be. There we go, one gasket made. Simple process, simple tools, and for a fraction of the money. The gasket papers you can buy online, or if you're at a local auto jumble, usually you can find these there as well. So have a go. It's much cheaper, and as you saw, literally only 10 minutes to make one of those. I'm going to do some more how-to kind of videos coming up. If you like this sort of thing, please subscribe to my channel and like as well. If you've got any questions, post those in the community, in the forum, and I'll endeavour to get back to you as well. But there you go, with just one made for the XL250 that I'm currently working on. Thank you very much.